Hey guys, we're back to analyze our round 8 games
hmm
from yesterday, and it's 1 p.m. in Romania. The next round starts at 2 p.m. So we're going to try and keep this brief, even though we both had games lasting over 50 moves.
Right.
Now, do you want to start with my game?
Yeah, sure.
Um, yeah, I was playing a low-rated player. I had lost the previous two games, so I was trying to just stop the bleeding and come back with a win. Um, I didn't manage to win this game, but I did manage to draw. I was playing a much lower rated player. I don't even know his rating. I don't think I even checked. Maybe around 2,000, give or take. Um, and I played, first of all, I was expecting d4,
hmm
and I was planning to play g6 against d4. He surprised me with e4, and I still played g6. And
Okay.
we got kind of a new position compared to what I'm used to playing.
hmm
I just wanted something dynamic, and that's essentially what I got. This is actually a similar setup to my round 2 game, where my opponent played kind of this early bishop d3.
hmm
But my round 2 opponent had played c3 early. In this game, my opponent played d5. And this was already a new position for me, resembling some kind of like Benoni type structure. I played a move here. I was slightly inspired by Ben Feingold, who likes to play like this. What do we call it? The check Benoni or
Yeah.
the Benoni wall, with this structure with e5.
hmm
Um, Thinking that if the center stays closed, I have future plans of maybe f5 and attacking. But my opponent took en passant. I took back, and I was very pleased. And it seems like every game I've played this tournament, I've had like a very comfortable opening, if not some advantage from early on.
Yeah.
And then, at least with the recent games, I haven't been able to capitalize on advantages. This game included. I mean, if we see what happened, I just completed development. My opponent was playing slowly with c3 and h3. I played e5, and after a take, I played what I thought was the best move, queen take d5. But maybe given what happened in the game, I should have taken with a bishop or something. I wanted to take with the knight, but this allows knight g5,
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying. So I took with the queen, and this has to be at least better for black.
Looks
I
looks
mean,
nice.
white's almost nothing's developed on the queen side, and black has almost everything developed. And then he played bishop f1, and he's just trying to equalize. Essentially, he wants to trade queens, complete development, and the problem is it's like quite symmetrical pawn structure. So if he's able to get maybe 2 or 3 moves to complete development, then it might be a hard position to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't want to trade queens here. I wanted to play something like queen h5, but then he can essentially force a trade with knight g5.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I traded queens. Rook take d1, rook a d8, and I'll say again, I haven't checked with the engine, so I'm not sure if I played. I'm sure I didn't play the right way to maximize my advantage,
hmm
but I wasn't sure what to do here in the game, and this will probably be a valuable position to look back on and see like how I could have improved.
Yeah.
Um, I started with h6. I wanted to prevent bishop g5 or knight g5. And going forward here, white did complete development. I played bishop d5, knight c4, and I wanted to imbalance the position in some way, so I took on f3, which I thought maybe is a controversial move because I give up the bishop pair, but I do damage his kingside pawn
Yeah.
structure. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll have potential for later ideas of like putting a knight on f4 or playing someday like knight e5,
Right.
targeting f3.
Yeah. Why not?
So, okay, the game continues. And then here I wasn't sure what to do because it seems like my pieces are good, like how to improve. And then I found an interesting idea that it's kind of a weird concept to try and trade the dark squared bishops. Even though his dark squared bishop is undeveloped, if I can trade off the bishops, then I could potentially access f4. So I was happy with the move I found here, king h7. Ideas of either bishop f6, bishop g5, or h5 and bishop h6.
hmm And now you're threatening knight c3, right?
Oh, that's another thing. I wanted to play knight c3 after a4.
Right.
The problem is, yeah, he can take on on h6.
Yeah.
And it's probably just bad. He has a bishop pair. So, yeah, it was a potential tactic in the position. But yeah, king e7, so maybe multi-purpose move. He plays bishop d2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of regret my next move. I played bishop f6. I'm thinking I should have played h5.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is after bishop f6, he plays f4. And he just stops my plan. And I thought initially his pawn is weak on f4, but it actually strengthens his position. It opens up this diagonal for the light squared bishop.
Right.
And I can't achieve the trade. If I played h5 and he plays f4, I could still play bishop h6.
Yeah.
And then this would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, h5 looks like a better try.
Yeah. And this is one thing which I learned in childhood, that in most middle games, 2 knights are better than knight and bishop. Have you heard of that?
No, never.
No. Sometimes in the endgame it's different, but in the middle game, like, they can coordinate better because they can target different squares. I guess it always depends on the position, but this is just kind of general terms.
Yeah.
So it's another reason to try and trade the dark squared bishops. But going forward here, he played f4, and then I felt like, okay, I'm probably not better. It's probably still balanced. Play rook d7. Bishop e2, not a bad move, threatening bishop g4. I played bishop d8. I want to maneuver to c7. Bishop g4, f5, bishop f3, bishop c7. I wanted to pressure the f4 pawn. He defended the f4 pawn with tactics, rook d1. So now I can't take because issues on the d file. So I play rook f d8. I was still feeling okay here. I felt like I was building a pressure, and then he made things complicated. He played knight e5, attempting to defend the f-pawn, try and maybe transform the pawn structure.
Right.
And I essentially have to take on e5. I spent a while here. Do I take with the knight? Do I take with the bishop? I really didn't want to take with the bishop because then he has 2 bishops versus 2 knights. But then I realized that it offers me good chances after take, and knight de7. This is what happened in the game. I unleashed the rook on the d file, and now the e4 pawn is weak. And if he were able to get the pawn to f4, the position might be different, but he doesn't really have time for that. So I was feeling good here. I mean, he played bishop f4, defending the pawn, and now I completely mishandled the position.
Oh.
I played a move which I thought is just the obvious go-to move here. I played g5, which I think is just a clear mistake given what happened. I should have very simply taken on d1. If we trade rooks, I mean, this would be great for me. Then I play g5, and maybe at some point f4, and then walk my king and win the pawn.
Right. Yeah, you're very solid here.
Yeah, no, that would be a great position. His 2 bishops aren't that powerful there.
Yeah.
And if he takes with bishop on d1, I'm sure I still have d5 or g5 and some nice positional play. So what I missed is that after I play g5, he doesn't have to move his bishop. He just gets some annoying initiative. And actually, for the next several moves, he just leaves the bishop on f4.
Oh.
He starts with rook take d7, rook take d7, another intermediate move e6. And this is just something I overlooked. I was playing a weaker player. I wasn't expecting him to be ambitious and counterattack.
Yeah, all of his moves so far have been very straightforward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I play rook d3, so now both his bishops are hanging. But now he simply takes on c6. I saw this line. I calculated this line when I played g5. I saw that we would reach this position. And I just assumed he would maybe retreat to e3. And then I would play rook d5.
Yeah.
And I was feeling good about this because c4 can be bet with rook e5. Rook e5 is a threat anyway. My king's going to walk in and attack the pawn. And maybe at some point I can play a6 and c4 and put my pawns on light squares. What I missed is he has a much stronger move here, bishop b8. And it's incredible, but he just keeps the initiative. I have to defend a7. The only way is to move the a pawn. Actually, after I played a6, I offered a draw because I realized I'm in big trouble. Just miscalculated. But he, of course, declined the draw. He plays bishop a7.
Yeah, ambitious.
And he's just clearly better. So it's incredible, such a good opening, and then I mishandled some, one slightly complicated moment, and now I'm just about lost in the endgame.
Wow.
Really unfortunate. I feel like that's happened a lot this tournament. Like I've missed some critical moments, and sometimes all it takes is a couple oversights to lose a game.
Right.
But this game I fought on, and this game I knew that I have a knight. Knights are tricky, and I'm not going to give up so easily.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I can't save my pawn because then I lose my knight.
Mm-hmm.
E7 will come. So I had to sack the c pawn. I play king g6. He takes, and I play king f6. And I think his technique was pretty good for the next few moves, but then later he stumbled. So going forward, bishop d4 brings a rook to e5. He wants to win a6. I have no way to defend a6, so I tried to get counterplay. Rook a5, rook d1, king h2. And my counterplay is all about exploiting the king on h2.
Mm-hmm.
And miraculously, I found some nice coordination. I start with rook e1. I want to win the e6 pawn, so we trade. But now it just seems like he can start pushing the queenside pawns.
Yeah.
That's what he does, b4. And then it, like at first glance, it seems pretty hopeless because like b5 is coming, and it seems like he's relatively solid on the king side. But I found some nice kind of mechanism to coordinate my knight and my rook to exploit his king. So I start with king h5. I want to get my king off this 6 rank because I'm expecting b5. After he plays b5, I play this nice move, rook e1. And one of the key points is that if he takes on c6, I can play rook e6 back.
Oh, nice.
And I just win the c pawn. Like he can't advance because it's pinned.
Yeah.
And then it would slow him down enough where I would still have chances to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So he played the natural move here, b6. Oops, b6. And I try and slow him down. I play rook b1, preventing b7. And then he played what I thought was a strong move, but I'm pretty sure this move is just a mistake. Rook a5.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was strong at first because he has some tricky ideas of like rook b5.
Sure.
He also is preventing knight f5, which is one of my key sources of counterplay.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be a good exercise for people like black to move and find the most troublesome move for white to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Due to time constraints, I'll just show it. Knight to g6. I simply want to come to h4.
Nice.
And if I can come to h4 and f3, there's this potential for at least some perpetual check.
Yeah.
So here, it was interesting what happened. Yeah, he played rook a7. I played knight h4. And then he played a5 and offered me a draw, knowing that I have perpetual check.
Right.
So at some point we might go back and see how like he could have tried to win. And now, like on a normal day, I would probably just accept the draw because, like, okay, it's going to be perpetual check, but doesn't look like there's any way to win. However, because he was pretty low on time at this point, and I had some momentum going in my direction, like he probably missed this whole sequence of knight h4. I wanted to play for a win, and I saw one trap in the position, which was risky, but I went for it, just hoping for some further miracle. I played knight f3, following the advice of Ben Feingold, always repeats, and then I played rook a1. And it's a weird waiting move, but there's a couple traps with this move. The basic trap I was kind of hoping for c4, where he's attacking my rook but walks into knight f3 with a fork. That was kind of just hope. But I was also hoping for b7, which looks like the most natural move, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm pretty sure black just mates by force.
Oh, wow.
So black to move, pretty sure it's just mate in 4. 1, 2... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this you have to find before the next round starts.
Wait, so with rook b1 you didn't have this mate, but you only have it?
I only have it, after b7. b7 it should already be a clue. b7 inhibits his rook.
Huh. Let's think. Oh, so knight f3 check, g4, and there's no rook g7.
Yes. Yeah, it's a nice... this was like the one hope in the position.
Yeah, no, I think it was correct to play on because I mean it's so
Well,
easy to miss.
right. I'm pretty sure Rook A1's a losing move though. But I played it just because I was hoping for this scenario where
Uh-huh.
he's like he can queen, but Rook G1 is unstoppable.
Right, right. So why would it be
Um,
losing?
So I'm pretty sure he would he saw it, like he saw the winning move, but he was scared to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, he just wants to pawns on b6. The idea for white, he just wants to like escape with the king.
Mm-hmm.
I think the move to play is just f3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scary move to play. He had like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
But his queenside pawn is so close to promoting. And okay, there's some complicated variations after. I wouldn't take on f3. I would play rook f2 first,
Mm-hmm.
king g1, knight take f3, king f1, and
Rook D2 or something.
yeah. So rook d2, threatening kind of this classic,
Yeah.
classic perpetual check.
Mm-hmm.
I've shown this in like a St. Louis Chess Club lecture, like this exact idea. But then he can play bishop f2,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just. I mean, I don't think there's quick enough counterplay for black. I would have tried to find resources from here,
Mm-hmm.
but
What about king h4?
king h4 in this position,
Mm-hmm.
probably bishop f2 check,
And then take on h3,
b7,
and there's no.
as bishop is such a strong defensive piece. Maybe I could still like try and repeat, but his king just runs to the queen
Just
side.
run, yeah.
Um,
Oh no, but you have rook d2 anyway.
so
No, right
oh,
here.
after b7,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying rook d2 here.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm controlling g2.
Yeah, so he won't be able
Interesting.
to get out.
And so b8 queen is just perpetual check.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I would have found this. Are there any other resources? Is bishop e1 still knight h2 check? Maybe
Mhm.
bishop g1.
King g3. Oh wait, sorry, this isn't helpful.
King g3 is not really threatening. Oh, king g3 is threatening perpetual.
Oh right, right. Rook d1, rook d2.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Wow. This is what I was hoping for.
Well, yeah. I mean, you get a lot. Like his rook is so
Yeah.
bad. You get a
Yeah,
lot
where
of
his rook's
counterplay.
completely out of play, and my king, knight, and rook can coordinate.
Mhm.
So okay, maybe f3 it would have been complicated. I'm really curious to see what the engine would have said.
Yeah.
I think maybe he could have played f3 earlier too.
Right.
Like he, like even in this position instead of a5.
Right.
But it's a game to analyze. He was pretty upset with the draw. Actually, what happened in the game, I really didn't want to draw. I didn't show the end of the game. So I played rook a1, hoping he would like play b7 and get mated. He didn't play b7. He didn't play f3. He played rook c7, which is just putting his rook on a better square, threatening b7. I repeat. I still didn't want to draw. I was trying, I was using all my time trying to find some potential mating ideas. I played c5 just to kill a move. And he took, and then I repeated and we drew. Then after the game, he was like going back and showing he was saying, I don't think he spoke much English, but he was saying like he should have won at some point,
Right.
but he wasn't able to show like a clear line.
Yeah.
Like he was showing some.
Yeah, it was still kind of
Like he was showing b7, and I showed him this mating idea.
Oh.
So,
That's funny. Yeah, you wish he played it.
right. Anyway, I survived. At this point, I'm not in the running for any like prize or any prestige. I'm just trying to play decent games, try and have some instructive moments.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand,
Well-
were playing for some big amount of lay.
Yeah, I managed to win in round 8. I was playing 2160, I think WFM or maybe WIM, not
Mhm.
sure. So she only plays Najdorf, so I went for e4.
That's nice.
If they're gonna do the Sicilian, I'm happy to.
Do you think your opponents are aware that you wrote a book on Open Sicilian?
I think some of them are. I think a lot of them are not.
Yeah. especially because you're 4 in here. I mean,
Right, and my database is like all d4.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm really familiar with the h3 lines. I like them a lot.
Nice.
So she kind of played, I don't know, natural knight Orff moves.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, knight d7, I think it's inaccurate. I feel like black should try to put the bishop on e6 first, but we end up getting a pretty normal position. And I play this move a4 here, which is a very instructive move. I'm just trying to push the pawn to b3, and then I'll kick the knight. And then once the knight goes back, I'll come in with knight d5.
Nice.
And I think white just gets a better position here.
Mm-hmm.
So rook c8, b3. And here I think she realized she's getting worse, so she kind of lashes out with h5, which I think is just dubious. I advance, h4, knight f8. So her idea is to put the knight on g6 and target the h4 pawn. I was thinking I might have something with like f4, you know, looks really natural, but bishop g4 is annoying, and then rook c3 is a threat.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really sure about this, just looked quite unclear. Although I feel like white
Maybe
should
like
have...
queen d3 here. Just...
Yeah, I mean, it feels very nice for white because
mm-hmm. Like you want to play f5, and if take, then take back with knight.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe knight d7, knight c5, or...
Mm-hmm. With knight d7, you have a5, and then knight c5 comes with tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, we'll have... I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the whole game, I'm just trying to keep control.
Right.
So I just put my queen on g3.
Nice.
I saw that she has no counterplay here. f6, I always take, and the knight is hanging.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she castles, I'll just play bishop f3.
H-pawn can't be defended.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So, knight d7, rook d1. Apparently, I think I was really considering this funny move, rook a2. Just to defend the c2 pawn and play knight d5 next, and then white is better. But I thought it was too creative. I didn't feel like doing anything special, but apparently the engine likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rook d1, just piling up on the d6 pawn, on the d5 square, b5. Now I was really thinking about just taking, but again, I wasn't so sure about this position. Maybe knight c3.
You have ideas of like rook a8 and knight c7, right?
Yeah, rook a8 is a threat, so I think
you also
here,
have queen d3 threat.
Here she would have to castle. But the problem is with queen d3, I always lose
bishop.
the h4 pawn. So she'll give the exchange, take on
I
h4,
see.
and just get this crazy counterplay.
I see.
So this looked very unclear. Again, I played rook a2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my position was much better at this point. Finally, she castles. Bishop f3. Now I want to take on h5, hit the knight, and then the bishop on e7 is a big problem. And here she was in huge time trouble, like under 10 minutes.
Well, it seems like full domination for white.
But surprisingly, holds on well and even gets like equal and better position.
Wow.
So my technique was bad. When my
Goes to
opponents
show
are in time trouble, it's just so hard.
Oh, it's hard psychologically when your opponent, like, then you have this internal conflict. You try and play quickly to put them under more pressure. You slow down to try and find the best moves.
But you give them more time.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, like tactically, she was holding on because this e4 pawn is hanging, so I can never take on h5. Okay, but I just kept the pressure with every move.
Nice.
Rook b8, rook a7. She trades.
You've had so many games where you dominate like the only open file.
That's true.
Such nice positional play.
It's the only thing I know how to do.
It works.
And I think I missed my chance around here. So it's a tough position, but apparently if I had taken on c5, this would have given me the win much earlier. What I didn't realize was that after bishop takes h5, b4, that I can take on g6. And from afar, I didn't realize that queen takes e5. Not only I can take this pawn, but also I'm hitting the bishop with check, so she doesn't have time to take on c3.
What would happen if bishop takes g6, pawn takes c3?
If takes on c3, I imagine I can just... I feel like
Oh, is there knight f6 check? Looks juicy.
Yeah, like knight f6 might be possible, or even, I feel like just keeping the bishop
Uh-huh.
is good. Or I can
on
take.
d5. Oh, if black takes on d5, f7 will hang.
Yeah. Can I take here? Why is chess base?
Knight f6.
Knight f6.
It's all these scary ideas.
Oh, and minimum just take.
Yeah.
And white should be
Nice.
mating. So that was, yeah, kind of the clear win
Mhm.
that I missed. Instead I played b4, which gives her some counterplay. Finally I took the pawn. And then rook c8 was a really strong move. Now if we trade rooks, she gets her queen to the c file and a lot of play, and I'm not really creating a lot of threats on the king side. But I managed to, I played this move, knight d5 here. It's just a practical move because I didn't want to play like bishop d2 and have to deal with like knight f4, for example,
Mhm.
where everything is just kind of hanging, or even queen c4, and I didn't see what move I'm making here. So I felt like the trend's not going my way. I tried to keep it. Now I give her a chance to win back the pawn at the cost of her light-squared bishop. And I thought, well, any endgame here, I'm going to be very happy with my bishop on e2 hitting b5.
Mhm.
Dark-squared bishop might be passive. Of course she can take on c2, but then I thought, okay, 2 bishops, I still have some chances. But she took on c2 right away, which I think is a lot stronger. I pulled back. But at least I have some stability in the position.
You have h5 coming too.
Yeah.
Some kingside attack.
So knight e7, I gave this check.
Mhm.
I realized it's unlikely that she'll take and allow this, which looks really good because everything is defended. I'm breaking through. But king h8, and I have no good follow-up. Knight e8 would be a good way to lose the knight after like queen c6.
Mhm.
If
If only this were Bughouse, just ask for a rook.
Yeah, any heavy. Okay, I pull back, knight g4. And now, she's been playing on the increment for a while.
Mhm.
Which it's like, how is she surviving this position? But, okay, here I just started kind of... I think at this point, she still has resources. She can even try to take the b2 pawn and ask me how I'm going to mate her exactly, but... she just starts playing, I think, way too passively, and this gives me some initiative. Okay, so queen d8, queen g3, I went back, and then finally I push h6. Right at the moment where g6, I have this trick with knight takes e5.
Nice.
And so it's not quite over, so I have the mate on g7.
There's something to f6.
Yeah, knight f6. I can't take, bishop d6.
Uh-huh.
But bishop f4, I think. And I didn't see how black could survive here, because I'm going to take, win back the piece, grab another pawn, and...
Maybe bishop take b4 possible, and then leave the pawn on f6, because the king looks safe on h7.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess I would...
It might lead to some ending where it's like 3-on-2 on the king side.
Yeah, I guess I would probably take, and then try to infiltrate somehow. Maybe push the pawn to h7.
That's possible.
And then try to get in queen g5.
So maybe like king h7, then black will... like you could...
And she has to defend the back rank.
Right. Oh, you can't... Can you take on b5? If you take on b5, queen take f6. Maybe black just wants to play bishop c4 and... That's tricky.
Yeah. Oh, definitely very tricky. But... Yeah, I think objectively she could have gone for this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of this line, she panicked. And so she took on g4, which is probably a clear mistake. Because now I just get the light squares.
That's nice.
And it's...
This knight is dominated by the
Right.
g5 pawn.
Yeah, knight and bishop are both super passive,
Yeah.
and I was able to just get in. And that was it.
That's a nice
Bishop
finish.
b6.
Nice.
So not a perfect game, not even close, but good enough.
That's all
Can't
you
complain.
need. Yeah.
So that's it for round 8.
Cool.
We have round 9 in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we should grab a snack and then we'll do one more video and that will be the tournament.
That'll be it.
So if you guys... Oh, wait. By the time this is uploaded, the tournament will be done. But if you want to review any of the games, you can check them out. We'll have a link in the description for the the live
for
broadcast,
chess
the live
24.
replay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, see you guys.